What if Darth Vader mastered Force Drain to regenerate his body? Let's explore the depths of it in the video. Vader takes a deep breath as he looks around at the chaos that remains of Exogol. They were left over from the recent battle, but also since ancient times, as the raiders had taken shelter within the ancient temple. As Vader strides through it, clearing out the last few survivors, he senses something elusive, a powerful presence, far stronger in the dark side than he has encountered anywhere else. At first, he thinks it is a being, a Sith Lord in hiding, or perhaps one of Palpatine's tests against him. But this doesn't feel concentrated. Rather than a single being, it feels spread out all across the planet, as if this entire temple is doused in the dark energy. Part of him wants to leave right away and leave this behind him, but he feels drawn into it and instead takes his seat in the center of a chamber and begins to meditate. He closes his eyes and feels the dark energy coursing through him. He meditates. It offers him his strength, its power, and its hold over him. Not only does it promise to break his enemies, it promises to strengthen him and heal him. The last thing is spoken barely above a whisper, leaving Vader unable to believe it. That whisper disappears just as quickly as it is said, but he cannot deny what he heard. When Vader looks around, he feels the energy pulling at him, taking him towards an abandoned chamber, one that has collapsed long ago. And yet, there is something there, some sort of power. Vader frowns and examines the ruins, looking for anything that might be of use. And there he finds it. Half buried in the rubble is a Sith holocron, one that looks pristine despite the passage of time. As Vader opens it, the information that fills his mind is unlike any other. It promises power, just as the rest of this place. But what it shows isn't just power. It is the means to it, a weapon that can help him achieve it. The holocron shows him how to harness a rare ability amongst the Sith, Force Drain. He places the holocron into his cloak and leaves the temple behind, deciding it has given him all he requires. As he boards his ship and departs, a figure observes him and smiles. Palpatine had planted that holocron there and paid off the raiders to begin attacking in this sector. And now those efforts had at last borne fruit. It is time to see what Vader does with that power. Palpatine soon sees that firsthand as Vader goes on another mission to capture a renegade Jedi, one causing trouble in the Outer Rim. But instead of simply killing him, Vader has the Jedi brought before him to get more practical use out of him. The Imperials are confused, but take him to his castle on Mustafar, where medical droids sedate him and tie the Jedi down onto an altar. Vader stands before the captured master, looking down at him and then reviewing the holocron. He studies the instructions carefully before starting to unleash his powers. As he chants the ancient incantation, green energy swirls around his fingertips, calling to him and promising to make him strong. He thrusts it out at the Jedi, striking him across the chest. Despite the sedatives, the Jedi Master's eyes shoot open, and he screams as the power hits him. He thrashes against the altar, trying to break free, but his mind is still swimming from the cocktail of drugs that the droids gave him, and Vader's powers further sap his strength. The spell soon has its effect as green veins form across the Jedi's face, leaving his legs shaking as he tries to fight off the effects of these powers. It is no use, though, as his body grows weaker and more shriveled until it disappears entirely. In contrast, Vader's body changes too. The constant pain he's been feeling since he emerged from Mustafar vanishes, replaced with a strength he had not known since he was still Anakin Skywalker. He removes his helmet, and when Vader risks a glance toward the mirror, the sight that greets him is the handsome man he was. He can even breathe without the need for a respirator. In a moment, all the resentment and anger that Vader has felt all those years disappears entirely, replaced with a pure euphoria at simply seeing himself again. No armor, no mask, simply a Sith Lord and one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy. When it comes time to return to the front lines, Vader is a force of nature, cutting through the enemy rebels like they were nothing. It doesn't matter who they are, whether they be rebels, clones, or Jedi, they all fall before Vader. He embraces his new power, welcoming the strength it provides him, and for the first few months, it seems like everything is back to normal. He is the young Vader Skywalker he was always meant to be. The one fit for Palpatine's training, the one ready to grow strong enough to prevent even death's hands from reaching people. Palpatine takes notice of this and feigns ignorance, pretending to be pleased at this development as it gives him the apprentice he always wanted. The Sith Lord smiles and takes him under training once again, showing off the abilities that he had withheld due to Vader's injuries. Abilities like essence transfer and force lightning are among those skills that Vader learns. With this, he becomes an even greater threat to the galaxy as he helps solidify the Empire's hold on the galaxy. But he isn't doing this for the Emperor. This is for himself and to establish his hold when the time comes. For a moment, it seems like Vader is at the top of the world, but that is where things start to go wrong. It doesn't happen all at once, but Vader begins to slow down. He remains formidable, but his mind begins to get distracted as something slowly claws at him. A deep hunger, asking for more power. At first, Vader feeds it, pouring his energy to sate this hunger, but the result is fatigue. One that saps his strength and momentarily leaves him vulnerable. Even with all his knowledge, he now struggles to unleash that power as his energy is drained, and he often feels weak. And then his appearance begins to deteriorate. Old scars begin to appear once again, and his eyes appear sunken. Next, his skin turns sunken and tallow-like, leaving him looking more like his burnt self. As Vader frets over this, that hunger gnaws at him, demanding to be sated, and for Vader to provide for them. Little does he realize that the holocron he found in the Sith Temple was a fake created by Palpatine, with the spell of Force Drain being corrupted. Rather than heal him, the method he provides is incomplete, unable to fully mend him, as Vader will eventually relapse. But soon, Vader gives into that hunger and tracks down a Jedi once again. He takes him and absorbs his power. For the first moment, that hunger is fed, but the battle leaves him shaken. Vader now fully understands his position and his helplessness to stop it. Rather than heal him, it merely allows him to feed, and now he must continue feeding to maintain that power. And so begins his new mission, to feed the hunger within him. Vader slowly shifts his focus from hunting the rebels and securing the Empire. He now focuses entirely on hunting down those strong in the Force, leaving his role as a general to men like Tarkin and other Imperial officers. Jedi, younglings, and Force sensitives are hunted across the galaxy. Even fellow Inquisitors are not safe, as they learn that once Vader grows hungry enough, he may even try feeding off them. This plays exactly into Palpatine's hands. With this constant hunger, Vader is unable to gain influence within the Empire, gather allies, or secure resources. If anything, many are turned against him, especially the Inquisitors who fear him and the Imperial officers, once rumors of his dark practices are leaked out. Though he continues to train him, Palpatine ensures that Vader remains unfocused and unable to turn his attention towards him. He speeds up the process by sending him visions of Padme and his past life. Whenever the train passes, these flash in his mind. Vader sees Padme laughing and full of life. He sees the fondest memories, such as when they were on Naboo or during their secret message. He also sees visions of the future, such as Vader managing to at last master essence transfer, something which allows him to finally prevent people from fully dying. And last of all, he digs deep into Vader's desires, sensing to wish to rule the Empire, and shows just that, him seated atop a throne, overlooking Coruscant as senators, soldiers, and citizens alike all bend before him. All of that causes Vader to redouble his efforts and training. The sight of all his desires just within his reach is enough to spur him forward, to convince him to risk everything for it, draining him of his strength and keeping him dependent on Force Drain to keep his body stable. This leaves Palpatine with a win-win. The more Vader does this, the more subservient he becomes, as he uses him as an attack dog, and should he fail, it is one more threat to his empire removed. Palpatine only further enables Vader and teaches him ways to track down Force-sensitive individuals as Jedi numbers dwindle. This training is brutal, leaving Vader cut off from his senses and made only able to use the Force to navigate his surroundings. This is just how the Infinite Empire trained its Force hounds, rather than just stop the remaining Jedi. Palpatine intends to deal with all remaining Force users in the galaxy, wiping them out and leaving him the only one who can harness their powers. It takes months of grueling training and nearly starves Vader to death for Force energy, but at last he grows hungry and desperate enough to accomplish this training, and only then does Palpatine finally unleash him upon the galaxy. It is like a beast being unchained, as when Vader emerges, he can sense the youngest Force users down to the newborn babies. With his hunger guiding him, he goes hunting, searching for younglings and those who have managed to develop their abilities to provide him with more power. Here, he eagerly bleeds them dry, but rumors begin swirling of this strange Force vampire that is emerging in the galaxy, one that strikes fear into the hearts of Imperials and rebels alike. Whole rebel outposts are found emptied of life, their occupants shriveled like husks, their eyes frozen in silent screams. Imperial defectors, Force sensitives in hiding, even children, all gone. In their place, only rumors remain. A figure cloaked in shadow, wheezing, dragging a red blade, leaving death in his wake. They call him the Dark Vampire. When they are found, their corpses are either emptied husks or all that remains is dust and empty clothes. Whispers soon spread across the galaxy, reaching Ahsoka Tano, who meditates on this and feels the Force churn with pain. Echoes of young minds snuffed out. She feels them in her dreams. But she isn't the only one who feels it, as Quinlan Voss reaches out and asks for her help to track this monster down. They compare visions and come to the same conclusion. This being is feeding. He isn't the only one.
I see you two have heard the rumors as well. This creature is unlike anything I've ever encountered, and these attacks are horrific.
Younglings, even children, this creature must pay, whatever it is.
Yes, but first we must track it down and learn about it. There is no telling what kind of monster is responsible.
I can track him.
Before you do, you must know this. Vader has children, and I fear they are under threat. They may be targeted next.
They make a choice, one that terrifies them all. Quinlan unlocks the ancient holocron once used to record every Force-sensitive child across the galaxy. Ahsoka stares at it, feeling the weight of its power. Obi-Wan warns them its activation might draw the attention of those who would want to seal it. The three of them meditate around it, feeling the Force flowing through the device, and try to figure out where Vader might strike next. The Force flows around them, swirling in a wave, but they try to focus on the finer points of it, reaching out to grasp at these strands to catch glimpses of the future. They begin locating the strongest among them. They find a group of older Force sensitives hiding on Dantooine, teenagers now, taught in secret by a surviving Temple Knight. Quinlan and Ahsoka hurry there, sensing the impending danger. By the time they arrive, they find the presence in the Force growing darker. Ahsoka and Quinlan feel him before they see him. A void in the Force, a crushing hunger that bleeds into their bones. He lands in silence. When they arrive in the compound, fighting has already broken out. The teens defend themselves, united in the Force, a storm of raw energy pushing him back. Behind them, Eth Koth stands protectively over the younglings, but the figure who is attacking them emerges from the rubble, shaking his head and snarling. Their eyes widen at the sight of the attacker. Vader, but without his mask. Instead, he sees the handsome features of Vader Skywalker. Though those features are now marred with anger, haggard and sunken, his face is severe and looks starved, while his yellow eyes are manic. He lunges ahead to pounce on them. Quinlan intercepts, blades sparking against Vader's feral speed. Ahsoka joins in, reaching out to him.
Vader, please, stop this.
He falters for a heartbeat. His head jerks toward her, but then he rushes towards her and thrusts his hand out, green energy flowing freely. She crosses her lightsabers and shatters the connection, but then shoves him back. Vader rolls and lands on his feet.
I'm starving.
He grabs one of the children with the Force, begins to drain them, the light pouring from their body into him. His skin underneath the armor bubbles, shifting, healing. But the teen resists, screaming with willpower, pushing back with sheer defiance. Quinlan breaks the hold with a slash of his lightsaber and sends him reeling back. The wound is serious, but not fatal. Vader instead responds with an explosion of Force lightning that throws Quinlan back. Ahsoka moves in as well, deflecting the attack and getting in close. Her lightsabers flash as she tries to disarm him and knock him over. However, Vader's lightsaber skills remain formidable. Though wilder, his strength is unmatched, and nothing breaks his defenses. Even Quinlan's attacks send him reeling, as Vader tries to drain him. But Eth Koth rushes in, sweeping his lightsaber and breaking his connection again.
You don't have to feed Vader. You can be free of this.
But his mind is frayed, ravaged by addiction and torment. The hunger screams louder than her voice, but his instincts tell him that attempting to flee from this will not be enough. Instead, he hisses and disappears into the forest. Left behind are the frightened children, alive but shaken. Ahsoka stands in silence, holding her lightsaber loosely at her side.
He's dying, and the only thing keeping him alive is killing him.
That's not your master anymore. It's a feral beast.
He watches him disappear and helps Ahsoka gather the children. Eth Koth tends to the wounded and thanks them for their aid. Soon after, transports arrive, provided by Obi-Wan, and gets them to safety. But as they make their escape, this raises questions of how to track Vader down. Once they are safely on board, they contact Obi-Wan and tell him everything, with only one question on their minds.
How do we stop him?
Like any wild animal, we put him down. He's gone too far. Every time we reach for him, the hunger pulls him back. The dark side has him by the throat.
No, it's still him. I saw it in his eyes. If we could just...
Ahsoka, I want to believe in him, but there's something about it. Just talking isn't enough. He recognized you and still attacked.
We just need leverage. We don't need to talk, but can we make him confront what he is?
Ahsoka, what you're suggesting is a great risk. If you fail, it could be catastrophic, and only feed the demon inside him.
And what is this thing? It needs to be something truly enticing, not just something he can feed off of.
There's only one thing left that could reach him. His children.
You want to use them as bait?
I don't want to, but he's desperate. His body is decaying. His mind is slipping. If he even senses them, he'll come. And if we're ready, we can stop him. And if that won't stop him, nothing will. And they'll never be safe.
I hate this plan. But as a hunter, that is excellent bait.
You are playing a dangerous game, Ahsoka. I hope it works.
Obi-Wan picks up Luke and takes him to Alderaan, saying that with Vader on the loose, he must be as protected as possible. The two are placed under the watch of the Organa family, but once they're together, their powers in the Force are amplified further. Their power would be enough to feed Vader for years. Vader hears it. Across the stars, aboard his ship, the whispers reach him. His body is failing again. His breath shortens. His limbs ache. And when he closes his eyes, he feels them. Luke. Leia. He jumps to hyperspace. The capital sleeps, unaware of the coming storm. Obi-Wan waits in the royal gardens, cloaked beneath the moonlight. Quinlan crouches in the trees above, lightsaber in hand. Ahsoka hides in the shadows near the royal library, her heartbeat steady. The twins are well within the palace, kept with a small army of guardsmen who are ready to evacuate them in an instant. The air thickens, cold creeps in. Then, a scream in the Force. Vader arrives. He crashes into the plaza like a falling meteor, his presence suffocating. Without a word, he storms toward the palace, blade drawn, fury unbound.
Not a step further, Vader.
Vader doesn't slow. He ignites his lightsaber and rushes towards him, raising it high as Obi-Wan prepares to defend himself. Ahsoka leaps from the shadows, blades flashing. Quinlan joins, striking in tandem. They halt Vader's attack as the three lock their lightsabers, but then they feel a burst of power that throws them back. Vader takes a deep breath and advances upon them, sweeping his weapon in a blinding arc. Vader fights like a man possessed. His strength is monstrous, his swings fueled by rage and need. He knocks Quinlan back with a brutal shove, throws Ahsoka through a column. Obi-Wan blocks him, each strike echoing across the courtyard. Vader instead grabs him by the neck and shoves him against the wall. He begins to choke him. Quinlan leaps from behind and slashes him across the back. He kicks him aside as Ahsoka springs from the other side. Her body spins, slashing with her lightsabers, which takes the Dark Lord off guard. But then, he unleashes a wave of Force lightning that throws them back.
You cannot save them. I must feed.
He steps over Quinlan and prepares to finish him. He intends to absorb the children's energy, and then plans to finish them off. But Ahsoka strikes at his calf and slides in front of him, stopping a downward slash. They trade blows as Ahsoka tries to leap aside from his attacks, but then she feels Vader kicking her aside. Obi-Wan comes from the side and locks blades with him.
Think about what you are doing. These are children.
They are how I will survive.
He shoves Obi-Wan aside and moves towards the door.
Vader, is it worth your soul? Because if you do this, there is no going back. You aren't just killing them. You're killing your legacy. Padmé's memory.
What are you talking about?
You didn't just sense them for their power. You sensed them because they're yours. You felt it. You know it. Luke and Leia, they are your children. Look beyond their power and search for what they are.
Vader staggers. The hunger claws at him. The truth rips through him, like fire through ice.
We're not here to fight you, Vader. We're here to help you. Let us.
Obi-Wan approaches slowly, placing a hand on Vader's chest plate. The healing begins. Ahsoka and Quinlan close in, channeling the Force, golden light pouring from their hands. Obi-Wan adds his strength, anchoring Vader in place. Vader screams, not in rage, but agony. The dark side tears at him, resisting, clinging. Visions flood his mind. Padmé reaching out, the twins smiling, Mustafar burning. He sees what he's done, truly sees it, beyond the desperation and hunger clawing at him, to what he was prepared to do and what he's about to do. He sees how Palpatine didn't make him stronger and kept him scared and weak, how this hunger was never fed because Palpatine never truly intended to do so. His armor sparks, cracks form across his mask. Beneath it, his skin glows, begins to heal, raw but real, scarred but alive. A single word escapes him, rasping from a throat not fully human.
Padme.
Vader kneels in the garden ruins of Alderaan. His breath comes easier now, shallow, but his own. The pain is still there, but no longer owns him.
You're still here, Vader.
But they're not safe. And all those people I fed on.
He'll know you turned. He'll strike back. If you want to make it right, start by making sure no one else suffers the same fate. Help us stop Palpatine.
Palpatine created this. All of this. My pain. The war. The Empire. It ends with him. I can take you to him, and we can end it.
The sky over the city is storm gray, thick with dark clouds that never part. Inside the Grand Hall, the throne of the Emperor looms tall, cold durasteel framed by spires and firelight. Palpatine senses them before they arrive. He is already waiting. His voice cuts through the silence.
So, the prodigal son returns.
Vader steps forward, flanked by Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, and Quinlan. The throne room shakes faintly with his presence. Not chaotic, but focused, balanced, alive.
You used me.
I freed you.
You made me a monster. But they helped me remember who I am.
Then I'll strip it from you again.
He rises, and the darkness swells, and then he unleashes it upon him again. The other Jedi scatter, but Vader faces it full force and dissipates it, sending it flashing aside. The three Jedi rush at him from different sides and come at him. Force lightning crackles from his fingers, but Obi-Wan absorbs it with one hand and redirects it into the wall. Quinlan uses the rubble and smashes it against him. Palpatine stumbles back as Vader and Ahsoka rush at him. Their lightsabers flash forward and keep him off the ground. Palpatine snarls and focuses down on Ahsoka, sweeping his lightsaber down towards her and sending her stumbling back. At the last second, Vader fires a burst of force fire that throws him back. Ahsoka takes this chance to rush at him, sweeping her lightsaber and sending him stumbling. He snarls in pain and turns to face them. Quinlan comes from the side and moves in a whirlwind, his attacks raining down on him, while Obi-Wan comes from the other side, blocking another burst of lightning. These two are trouble enough, but Palpatine watches as Vader comes forward too.
You don't have to do this, Vader. Return to me. We can make you whole.
I am whole.
You truly think that? You are what I made you. Everything you've done was molded by me. It was I who gave you that holocron.
Fury explodes towards the Emperor. He unleashes the full force of the dark side, lightning, illusions, force screams, and it all crashes into Vader. But Vader doesn't move. Though he's tempted to drink it in and give in to its rage, he does not. As he glances back, he sees Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, and Quinlan offering him their power, lending their strength to him. He endures, and then he steps forward. Palpatine's power begins to twist and collapse under Vader's calm gaze. He tries to drain his claws of darkness, reaching for Vader's soul. And for a moment, Vader opens himself, letting the storm wash over him. The Force snaps back violently and returns to Palpatine. The Emperor stumbles, exposed, weakened. Vader could drain him. He wants to. The hunger is still there, buried beneath the skin, but he resists. He reaches into the Force not with hate, but with mercy, with sorrow. Palpatine screams as Vader drives his saber through him. Clean. Final. The Emperor's body disintegrates into smoke and ash. With Palpatine dead, no one can edit this footage, and everyone in the galaxy is horrified to learn how Palpatine willingly and knowingly unleashed the Force vampire. Vader himself testifies to everything, sending a recording to the Senate that confesses his crimes and how he plotted with Palpatine. Hearing this, Bail Organa turns against the Imperial Senate, going on the offensive and trying to go after them all. Meanwhile, Vader and the other Jedi disappear and begin going after the Imperial positions in the Outer Rim. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you want to accompany us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.